Here's something odd we found. After we cut into the stringer here to tab this in, tab the repair in from the top side, and make sure that nothing was damaged, we found there's like this dark colored liquid that was already here from the factory. I've never seen that on the base of a stringer before from Sea Ray. So I guess if you know what that is, leave that in the comments. But it's kind of odd. Nothing that anyone would normally find either, because I mean this is under the floor of the aft cabin, which would normally be encased in foam. But yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen whatever this is that Sea Ray did. So they've got 8 layers of 1708 biaxial down from the top, and they're working on grinding out the bottom. And what happened was they found some delamination from the accident, and they're chasing it right now underneath the boat to make sure we get the whole thing repaired. Well, this is the damage under the aft cabin from the outside. Again, this is much worse than we originally thought, so this project is getting very expensive. They're getting to the end of the repairs here on the bottom, other than the aft cabin though. Alright, this is all the glass we're going to do here inside. He's got the stringer glassed up again and tabbed into the repair at the bottom. Right now I'm putting a pilot hole in, and now I'm going to put this tab in here, and it'll hold up this cutout. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So I made a little ledge for this floor to sit on while they glass it in. I started countersinking the hole there and it blew right through, so I'll have to see what these guys want to do about that. Both tabs are in, lay it in. Alright, nice and flush. And he'll run some glass over the top of this. He's got the transom sanded now to 600 grit wet, and then tomorrow he'll come in and work his way up. I think he's going to go up to 1200, and then he's going to start buffing. This is all fit, and I got a few of those ledges like I built downstairs to hold it. And tomorrow he'll come in, wet it out, and start glassing. He's got a few layers here built up of chop strand, and he put some putty around it and underneath it, between those stringers and the floor. So everything's just got to dry now, and this should be good to go. All right, the guys in the shop here decided to attack this scar I had on the side of the arch. Would have been kind of a shame to do all this work and then leave a big scratch, so they glassed it in, and they'll feather in some gel coat later on. The holes are ground. They're gonna get filled. Kind of went around the entire perimeter here with the grinder, getting ready to glass this all in, and I'll come in with some gel coat later. He did another couple layers of glass and then sanded it down smooth, so Now I just got to decide what floor I'm going to put down here throughout the whole boat, the whole cabin, and then it'll look like it never happened. Here's the first round of glass. Alright, I put down my first coat of gel for the whole bilge there. The experiment was spraying it with a PVA at the end instead of mixing wax in. The wax makes it more matte or dull, and I kind of wanted a little bit of shine, so I used a Prevail sprayer with PVA in it, and I really couldn't see it. And then at the end I could start seeing it, and it was running, but I don't know that if that really makes a difference, because the gel was pretty shelled off by the time I started spraying the polyvinyl alcohol, which is like a wax sealant that goes over the top, and you wipe it off when you're done. So it's actually not part of the gel coat process. It's just something you spray on top to let it inhibit the air from getting to the gel, and so it cures hard. If you don't do either wax in your gel or PVA on top, your gel will always be sticky forever.
Well, take and use these. See how it flows. How long were you in there?
About a half hour.
Yeah, that's why. That should have took you about 6 seconds to do that.
I was taking my time.
Jeez, you gotta get a big brush, 4-inch brush. And the faster you get it out of your cup, like this, you know, in these cups, once you get it on the boat, it'll slow down.
Oh yeah, you're increasing the surface area.
Yeah, it cools it down. This gets hot as fuck in these cups.
I experienced it last night.
Yep. That's what it all does, everything we do. Filler, any of it.
There's 3 layers of chop strand over the top of the new coring, and filled in a few holes, put a little extra in one spot where you ground too far. Looks good. My first time gel coating that back wall there turned out good compared to the old surface that was there. The bilge cleaner turned a little bit white when I power washed everything, and it was pretty worn. So I started washing off the green seal or the polyvinyl alcohol, and the surface is perfect. It's exactly what I was hoping for. The color is spot on. So now I just got to do the rest of the bilge. Here's some more wonderful wiring I found. This was my stern light. Not even a butt connector, just wrapped it around and then put electrical tape around it. This is what they had going on here for a stern light. This is a indirect light sold on Amazon. It's not US Coast Guard approved, so you don't see the USCG stamp anywhere on the lens. It's definitely not bright enough and doesn't cast the right light. So they're done with the wet sanding, and they gave it like a once over with some heavy compound. I'm gonna come through with a medium on the yellow pad, and then hit it with a blue foam with Finesse It 2, and then wax it. But in the meantime, I'm ready to get the new stern light on, so I'll show you guys that. So this is a real transom light. You can see it's got the markings on it that it's certified. for use as a stern light. It casts the right direction and the right amount of light as dictated by the Coast Guard. Here's your 3M red shrink connectors, which you are supposed to be using. You crimp that onto the end of the stripped back wire, and then use a little bit of heat to shrink it up. It's a watertight connection. Alright, I had to give a quick test, but LEDs are polarity specific, so it matters which way the boat is wired. And why do I say that? Sometimes, because they used incandescent lighting back in the day, it didn't matter at the fixture if positive and negative were correct. You could flip it and it would be just fine. Wouldn't make a difference. So they would just wire boats that way. You'll find that in your cabins and your bilges, everywhere. So I always test it first to make sure that positive and negative are in fact red and black or gray and black. Alright, I am leaving for vacation, and when I get back, this thing will be outside again. So they've got like 2 or 3 more days worth of work to do, but I've been buffing. They wet sanded and heavy cut it. I'm gonna have to do like a medium and a high polish to it, and then wax all this. But the holes are now gone, and it's looking pretty good. All right, here's under the boat. They spent about 6 hours grinding down here, and they've spent probably another, I don't know, maybe 2 days glassing. There's about 12 layers of glass under here, and then 12 layers of glass up top that they did. And they tapped those 12 layers into the stringer. So we're making progress here. They have to fill it and then sand it smooth and then gel coat it, and then they're going to put some barrier coat on there for me, and then I'm gonna put black regular ablative paint over this. All the other damage on the bottom has been finished, and like I said, they're gonna put barrier coat over their repairs, and then I'm gonna come in and paint this all once I'm outside. I started taking the paint off, and I quickly realized it was going to be way too dusty of a job to do inside of Uncle Jeffrey's shop here. So that ain't happening. But you can see the extent of the repairs up here. He's going to gel this, and then, like I said, barrier, and then all black, paint it all black. So there's quite a bit more to the repairs here than I originally thought, but it was all done correctly by professionals, and I guess that's what's important. It'll be safe.
Call 1-800-CALL-SAM and get Michigan's first family of law. Call SAM.
I'd rather put 2 pieces on, but you might be able to fair them out a little bit. Is there a tank that goes on this?
Yep. Actually, the one aft is the that's the water muffler.
Oh yeah, okay. So now I don't have to worry about it then.
Yeah, and then the one closest to you. Alright, now it looks like the holes have been patched. it's plenty dry enough. I'm gonna start cleaning up and prepping this area, wipe it down with acetone, and then we're gonna gel coat it. All right, just gonna use a coat of wax, and the transom is done. All right, I've just been knocking down the patches we put in for the holes we've made for the foam. Once I get this knocked down a little more, I'll come in and wipe everything down with acetone, and we'll start gelling. Alright, the back hole's sanded pretty much flush. This one over here, sanded less. The water muffler goes on top of that. No one will ever see it again. But I did sand it down a little bit more. Alright, the boat's back outside again. Looks like they got everything done here on the bottom. They're still working back there, but it's about 90% done.